Hey guys, so today I have swatches of two new collections from Superchic Lacquer. I have the Ugly Sweater Party Trio, and then I have the Once Upon a Diamond polishes. There are 3 for the trio, and then there are 7 for the Once Upon a Diamond polishes. These are kind of like the ones that they came out with in the spring that have each bottle has like 1/2 carat weight crushed diamond crystals. They're like, I'll show you. I showed you like a little close-up of them in the swatches. So yeah, there are 7 here. These are just a regular Superchic Lacquer price as opposed to earlier in the spring when they were like $25 a bottle. So they're a little bit cheaper this time. And yeah, one thing I did want to mention before I get started is Superchic Lacquer, I think her bottles got discontinued, so she had to switch her bottles. So she chose these round ones with these tapered caps. A couple, I like the way it looks. Like, I didn't think I was going to like the way it looked, but I actually do. But I have a couple issues with it. The caps, for some reason, they're like, I grab things like by the top, and because they taper off, I tend to drop it. Like, it doesn't want to grip very easily. The biggest thing that I had with these is that they are kind of unstable. I knocked the bottle over like 4 times in the first 3 swatches until I got used to how easily it falls over. So that is something to be aware of. They're kind of top heavy. They do fall over really easily. I mean, it was like I could pick it up before I spilled anything, but I did knock it over a lot before I started to be more careful about how I hold it and how I grab it, because it was really easy to knock over. So these are both being released on December 2nd at 4 p.m. Pacific time, so I will link the website down below and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Bright Shiny Sweater Balls, and this is a topper. This has silver holographic, matte white, matte pink, matte red, and then I think there's a little bit of like a pale matte yellow in there as well. And I am layering this one over OPI's Christmas Gone Plaid. So here's one coat. This one is very dense. It covers really well on the first coat. There's just a little bit of manipulation that needs to be done to make sure that everything covers evenly. There's also some orange and some matte gray glitters in here that I missed too. So there is one coat of Bright Shiny Sweater Balls. The next polish is called Mr. Hankey Every Party Needs a Pooper, and I love this because I love South Park. This is a slightly brown tinted jelly base. There's a bunch of different glitters in here, larger squares and hexes. I think I see some circles, green, red, orange, metallic and matte, white, gray. There's a bunch of different colors in here. From the information that I have, this is supposed to be worn on its own, so that's how I'm going to layer it for the video. So here's one coat. This does have a lot of smaller black micro glitter in here that you can't really see until you get it on your nail. And I am having to do a little bit of dabbing to get those larger glitters spread out so I can help it build up and get more coverage out of it. Formula is good. It's actually a little bit on the thinner side, so I'm trying to be careful to do thin coats because it definitely would want to run on me if I did it too thick. Also, I have to do a little bit of swirling to get those glitters out. So here's 2 coats. This one is starting to build up a little bit on 2 coats. Again, I am having to do a lot of dabbing just to make sure that the bigger glitters cover evenly. And there is a good amount of swirling involved to get those big glitters out as well. I can still see through this pretty well, so I'm going to do a 3rd coat. So here's 3 coats. So 3 coats doesn't cover 100% for me, but I think that it's probably opaque enough for most people to get away with it. You really have to look to distinguish between like where your nail is showing and where it's just a gap between 2 larger glitters. This is going to need a good amount of top coat to smooth out, and it's probably going to be a little bit difficult to remove. Because the jelly base is pretty sheer, you could also use this as a topper. I do think I would suggest this one more as a topper than as wear it on its own polish, and I might have been wrong about my information about this being meant to be worn on its own. I just feel like it was a bit of work to layer it up into 3 coats, so I would suggest this one as a topper if you do pick it up. So there is 3 coats of Mr. Hankey Every Party Needs a Pooper. And the last polish in the Ugly Sweater Party Trio is all flocked up, and this is a matte white and matte gray with holographic silver glitter mix. This has a slightly milky kind of base. This is another one that, for my information, is supposed to be worn on its own. So here's one coat. This one covers okay on the first coat. I do have to do a little bit of manipulation again to get everything, or not manipulation, to get everything evenly spread out, but it does seem to cover pretty well for being a glitter. formula is good on this one. Again, a little bit on the thin side, but not as thin as the last one. Still fairly easy to use, and that slightly milky base is so slightly milky that it doesn't really show up too much on the nail on the first coat. So here's 2 coats. So this one actually almost covers completely in 2 coats. I just have a few bald spots and I have to do a little bit of dabbing to try to fill those in, but I think it's going to cover completely in 3. I am swirling the brush on just about every dip in to try to get some of those larger glitters, and I'm getting a few. So here's 3 coats. So this one covers completely in 3. It does dry very, very textured. So if you want this completely smooth, it's going to take a good amount of top coat, maybe even 2 coats of top coat, or like a really thick top coat like the Nail Pattern Boldness Glitter Food, and then a shiny top coat on top of that. So there is 3 coats of All Flocked Up. So now that the Ugly Sweater Party Trio is done, I'm starting in on the Once Upon a Diamond collection. These are 7 polishes that are each have a ½ carat weight of crushed diamond crystals in them. Superchic Lacquer did something similar to this in the spring, except these ones are a lot cheaper than the original ones. The first one is called Chronicles of Enchantment, and this one is meant to be a topper. This is the only one of these 7 that is meant to be a topper. This is a super holographic silver glitter mix. This does have those little crushed diamond crystals in there, as well as I see silver holographic triangles and then a bunch of really tiny silver holographic glitters. I did pull out one of those little diamond crystals. You can see they almost just look like a little piece of salt almost, or like a little piece of glass. They are very clear. I feel like there's a little bit of sparkle to them, but not too much. So they're going to be a little bit textured. Oh, I dropped it. Okay, I had to grab another one because I lost that one. But yeah, they're just going to add a little bit of texture to the polish, and then the, I guess, luxury aspect of them actually being diamonds. So I am layering this one over Essie's After School Boy Blazer. So here's 1 coat. This one covers really nicely and really evenly as a topper. I get a ton of glitter out. I haven't gotten any of those large triangles out, and I've done a little bit of fishing, but it doesn't seem by looking at the bottle that there's too many in there anyway. So there is 1 coat of Crown Jewels of Enchantment. The next polish is called Captured Teardrop, and this seems to be the same glitter mix as Crown Jewels of Enchantment. That super silver holographic glitter mix, a bunch of different shapes. This one is in a slightly blue tinted jelly-ish crelly base, and it does have those diamond crystals as well. So here's 1 coat. This one actually covers a lot better than I was expecting it to. On the first coat, it's actually pretty opaque. I mean, there's a few bald spots. It is going to need a second coat, but it does cover pretty well. All of the glitter and shimmer that's in here distributes nice and evenly, and the formula is pretty much near perfect. It's not too thick, not too thin. So here's 2 coats. And this one covers completely in 2. These are going to dry very textured, and if you do want them not textured, then you can put a couple coats of top coat on there. I feel like with those diamond crystals in there, they were meant to be textured and kind of like a jewel encrusted, you know, kind of look, not necessarily smooth and glassy, but you can easily do that with top coat. So there is 2 coats of Captured Teardrop. The next polish is called Notions of Ariel, and this is what seems to be the same kind of silver glitter mix. I feel like there's a little bit something kind of purple flashing in here. I don't know if it's an iridescent glitter that flashes purple or if there's a little bit of purple glitter in here. I just checked on the last polish, the blue one, and that one had that in there as well. And then it also has the diamond crystals. So here's 1 coat. This one is a little bit sheer on the first coat, but it's not terrible. There's very little manipulation required to even those glitters out. The formula on this one, again, is great. I will say these polishes did seem to separate on me very, very quickly. I've only had them for a few days, and they were pretty well separated when I pulled them out to do this video. So here's 2 coats. And this one covers completely in 2. Again, these are going to dry very textured, so you will definitely want top coat if you don't like textured polishes. I actually really like textured polishes, so I'm happy to still see some coming out. So there is 2 coats of Notions of Ariel. The next polish is called Chronicles of the Dreamcatcher, and this is that same silver holographic glitter mix, but this is in kind of a nude / pale gold base. So here's 1 coat. So this one is a bit more sheer on the first coat because it is that lighter nude colored base. Again, great formula though. I feel like this one might be a little bit thinner than some of the other ones, but still very easy to apply. So here's 2 coats. This one is starting to build up, but it's still a bit sheer, so I'm going to do a third coat. Again, great formula, very little manipulation to get any of those glitters spread around, although even with swirling, I have yet to get a triangle glitter out in any of these diamond polishes. So here's 3 coats, and 3 coats covers completely, and it does deepen that gold color a little bit as well. Again, will dry textured and will probably be a bit difficult to remove, and I got 2 triangles out on that nail. So there is 3 coats of Chronicles of the Dreamcatcher. The next polish is called Wish Upon a Wisp, and this is that silver holographic glitter mix with those diamond crystals in a deeper blue jelly base. So here's 1 coat. So again, the jelly base in this one covers really well on the first coat. Probably will only need 2. Great formula on this one as well. The texture on these reminds me of the Zoya Magical Pixie Dust. There were only a few colors and they were super, super textured compared to the regular pixie dust. That's what these remind me of. So here's 2 coats. And this one covers completely in 2. You can get some kind of chunky stray pieces off the end of your nail. You just need to kind of swipe or tap them back down. Again, very textured the way it dries. I actually really like polishes that are textured, so I'm excited about these. Drying in that finish because you can't really get them from Zoya or anything like that anymore. We're not going to see any new ones from them. So there is 2 coats of Wish Upon a Wisp. The next polish is called Swan of Adorned Darkness, which is kind of creepy. This is a black jelly base with that silver holographic glitter mix and the diamond crystals. So here's 1 coat. Again, the jelly base covers pretty well on this one. It will need a second coat, but I don't think it'll need any more than that. Same formula as most of the other ones on here. Very smooth, very easy to apply, very little manipulation needed to spread those glitters out. So here's 2 coats, and this one covers completely in 2. And that silver really stands out against that black. So there is 2 coats of Swan of Adorned Darkness. So this last polish is called Embellishing Regina, and this is a black jelly base with that same silver glitter mix in it and the diamond crystals, but this also has a red metallic glitter mixed in. So here's 1 coat. This one covers pretty well in the first coat. Again, it's a little bit sheer, so it will need a second. Formula is great, same as most of the other ones in the collection. The only one of the diamond polishes that didn't feel identical to the rest was the nude colored one, which was just a tiny bit thinner. So here's 2 coats, and 2 coats covers completely. The color combination in this one makes me think of Star Wars, because it is very the dark side with the black and the red and the silver. So there is 2 coats of Embellishing Regina. So Captured Teardrop is by far my favorite. This kind of like baby blue jelly base is not something I see often. I actually have it here. The only other polish I've ever seen this in is a KB Shimmer So Much Fun from a few years ago, and I just thought it was the coolest, like, to get it back over here, coolest, most unique thing I have ever seen. Like, I just really, really liked that baby blue jelly curly base, and this has it as well, and it covers in 2 coats, and they're all textured, which I know, like, texture's kind of fading out. You know, Zoya doesn't make them anymore, OPI doesn't make them anymore, but I still really, really like them, and this is textured and it's sparkly, and I really like this one. So those are the 2 new collections from Superchic Lacquer that are releasing on December 2nd at 4 p.m. Pacific time. I will link the website down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.